David in Miami, Florida. See more better with ChristianEyewear.com, but call me Mo Better, because some of you seen Mo Better looking Mo Better, and show everyone else how I bring God's love and feeling back to glasses when I cut your Transitions Generation 8 gray lenses with Crizal Avance for the Christian Eyewear. This is model number Philippians 4:13, which of course, as you know, the Bible passage reads, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. This is the 52 eye size, 18 bridge, 145 temple link in the color black. And of course, this comes with the gray polarized magnetic clip-on. So, now even with the clip-on, you're getting the transition lenses, because why wouldn't you? Keep this in your car, because that's the one place transitions won't work. When you get in the car, put on your seatbelt, put on the clip, and there you go. You're good to go. But David wore the Ray-Ban 2132 new Wayfarer that he got from me years ago and liked it so much he doesn't want to change, but he loves the idea of the Christian eyewear. And I'll show you all the available colors, but let me go ahead and begin. I'm going to program this shape into the computer. Now, David's been with me because I'm an Essilor man. He's been with me for about 5 or 6 years. Even though I switched over to Zeiss, he wanted to try the new Transitions Gen 8 lenses. I don't have these on the website yet, so he asked for a price. I got it to him. He said, please, would you do it with Essilor brand lenses? I said, okay. So, but I need to assign a barcode to this. David, you are Secret Agent 2952. So let me program this in there. That way, years from now, should you ever need new lenses for your frames, maybe you can try Zeiss, just saying, and I can send them right to your home and you'll see how to pop them in. So let me program that in there, Secret Agent 2952. I'm going to hit the start button. Oops, you know what? I can't start without the frame being in there. Did I mention I'm only human? I don't walk on water. Not even on my best days. Hit the start button, the little stylus is going to pop up, go around, trace the inside bevel of the right side of the frame before doing the same thing on the left. Here at ChristianEyewear.com, where believing is seeing, and where everyone loves a bargain and no one is disappointed in quality. You buy any genuine, authentic frame that I offer, you'll receive 1 free pair of clear single vision prescription lenses or non-prescription fashion lenses. My receipts have my federal ID tax number, so if you have vision insurance or unused health savings account flex dollars, you will get reimbursed for this purchase. Now, you'll get the full reimbursement from your health savings account. I do not accept any vision insurance plans. I'm considered out of network. But if you submit the itemized receipt that I can provide upon request, you will get your out of network reimbursement. Now, that is the shape that I'll be cutting, that shape. Let's move on to the next screen. I have to enter your pupillary distance, which is 30.5 for each eye. The computer starts at 32.5. I'm going to tap the minus button until we get to 30.5. I do want to raise the optical center height up to 22. Let me mark that on there. 22. Now your right eye reads minus 250, minus 1 1/4 at 35, minus 250, minus 1 1/4 at 35. How quickly I forget. It doesn't hurt to double check. Make sure everything's on 0. This is what's known as the lensometer. It is the Marco brand. Minus 250. Take the lens out of protective packet. It comes with a little laminate on the front of the lens that protects the lens while it is being shipped, so nothing rubs against that. Inside of the paper packet, take that off, place that there. I'm going to put the lens into the lens stop, rotate it until I can find the geometric center of the frame and the spherical component of your prescription, which is the minus 150. Check your astigmatism correction. That is good. Get everything lined up. Put 3 dots on your lenses. Uno, dos, ocho. I mathed wrong. I'm going to put an R on here, which stands for wrong. I'll do the same thing now for the, oh, but your right eye. Okay, so you know you're getting the manufacturer's original packaging. I'm going to use my highlighter. Minus 250, 1 1/4 at 35. Minus 250, minus 1 1/4. Now again, these are these spherical, Eyewear Transitions Gen 8. Let me highlight that. Gray with Crizal, Avance. If you don't like any of those abbreviations, just look right here. Transitions Signature Gen 8 with Crizal, gray. And I'm going to mark this one. I'll grab that red pen again. Label this one the R for the right lens. Let's do the same thing now for the left lens. -2, -1 at 132. Turn the axis wheel to 132. Take the lens out of the protective packet. Take the laminate off the front. Put the power drum on -2. Rotate the lens until the spherical component comes into view first. Check the astigmatism correction. Put 3 dots on your lenses. First one's turned out better. 11, 12, 13. And I'm going to put an L on here, which is Latin for not right. And let's highlight this packet. -2, -1. Eyewear, which is the Essilor's name for polycarbonate, because they feel as light as air. Eyewear T Gen 8 gray, Crizal, Avance. This is the left lens. And if you guys missed any of that, let me recap. Did I mention free bad jokes with the purchase of every pair? Now you're going to get these original packets in the mail, so you know you're getting the authentic lenses that you requested. That's the thing when you buy glasses on the internet. How do you know you're getting what you asked for, and how do you know you're getting the right prescription? We'll answer that second question in about 15 minutes. So this is a block. I need to attach this to your lens while it's cutting, so I need 2 double-sided adhesive stickers. I've got those here. The black side is the sticky side. I'm going to stick this one onto the first block. Do the same thing now for a second one. Pull the paper away to make the black side sticky. On the back, that silver button is a magnet. It's going to attach itself to another magnet there. It's going to do that twice. That's the first time. And the reason why I put those 3 dots on there, it tells me that it's oriented in there just perfectly. The blue cross is the geometric center of the frame. Your eye is just above that in inset. So let me get everything laid out as such. Get everything lined up nice and straight. Hit that button. The arm's going to come down. Place the block onto the right lens. We're going to do the same thing now for the lens that ain't right, which I can identify with, which for today's performance will be known as the left lens. Now, same pupillary distance for the left eye, same optical center height, so I don't have to change any of the numerical components. That's right, I'm using big words. That will be the last of the big words I use for the rest of the video, however. So, get everything laid out, hit the button, down comes the block onto the left lens. Now, this is the blocker, this is the tracer, this is what's known as the edger. This is what's going to edge your lenses down from this size to this size. It weighs 200 pounds. I recommend everyone go out and buy one, put it on your kitchen counter, then you could cut your own lenses at home, and you won't need this guy with the 2 thumbs and the bad jokes to do it for you. The actual cutting wheel is this diamond crusted wheel that's going to grind away your lens material till it's the final size. This wheel in the center is going to put the V-shaped bevel onto the lens so it stays inside the bevel of the frame. So let me wake up the computer. Wakey wakey. Job ID number 2952. 2952, or as I like to say, installment 2952 of my 330 million volume series of making a pair of glasses for everyone in America. So spoiler alert, stay tuned for episode number 330 million. Something wacky's going to happen. You heard it here first. So these are polycarbonate lenses. If they were plastic, high index plastic, or Trivex, I would select those materials. My favorite one is TBD, to be determined, some space age futuristic material that they haven't come up with yet. I should just cut it on that just to see what would happen, but these are polycarbonate, so we'll stick with that. I do not want to polish the edge of the lens because it's not going to be seen in this frame. I do not want to place a safety bevel on the front whoa, come here now, come here. The front convex surface of the lens, but I do want to place one on the rear concave surface of the lens. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do, the concave, and I'll explain why I'm going to put a safety bevel only on that side. Now, the magnet's going to do its job a second time. It's going to attach itself to another magnet there in the chuck or as I like to call it, the Charles, because I just don't know this machine well enough to call it Chuck. Did I mention free bad jokes with the purchase of every pair of glasses sold? So I'm going to hit the green start button. The door closes, the clamp shuts. The lens is going to be traced by 2 white styluses, making sure that it is large enough to fit into the frame. And you can see as it's going around tracing the shape of the right side of the frame. And then the old Jewish carpenter saying, measure twice, cut once, measuring the thickness of the lens at every point to know exactly and precisely where to place the bevel, so you have the least amount of edge thickness showing, of which you should have none with your prescription in this frame. Excuse me. Now the light you see flickering in the background, that is water to catch the optical sawdust. Polycarbonate lenses cut dry, meaning that no water sprays onto them while they are cutting, unlike plastic, high-index plastic, and Trivex that have water spraying onto the lens for the duration of the cutting cycle. Now, water will spray onto your lenses, David, but only for the last 20 seconds to wash away any optical debris that you may see beginning to form on the edge of your lenses. But as I mentioned, your lenses are made out of polycarbonate, which is 40% thinner and lighter than regular plastic. They are virtually unbreakable. These are high-impact ballistics-grade lens material, the same lens material that our soldiers wear overseas in combat zones to protect their eyes from shrapnel and from flying debris. It has 100% UVA and UVB protection built into the lens. We know what the sun's harmful ultraviolet rays can do to your skin there in Miami. Your eyes are 8 times more sensitive than your skin, so unlike the lotions, creams, and sprays that have to be reapplied every couple hours when you're in direct exposure to the sun, this is permanent and never needs to be reapplied. Now, speaking of protection, it also has 30 to 40% blue light protection built in. The transitions component of your lens, it was the original blue blocker. You have the Crizal Avance, which is an anti-glare treatment. There's 3 treatments in one. The first treatment is that it reduces glare when driving at night, particularly driving at night in the rain, which you get in Miami, but from street lights, stoplights, computer screens, overhead fluorescent lights, and such. The second feature is it reduces reflection, so when someone's looking at you, they're not looking at their reflection in your glasses, so it makes for much better eye contact. Plus, if you take a selfie, you're less likely to see the phone in the lens, or if someone takes a picture with a flash, you're less likely to see that. Now, if you notice your lens is completely flat around the edges, it's doing its own check and balance system again to double check where to place the bevel, so you have the least amount of edge thickness showing. It's now going to drop down onto the bevel wheel in the middle to get the V-shaped bevel. Now, the third feature of the anti-glare treatment that I like, the practical side, is it comes with the industry's hardest scratch coating. The machine that applies the anti-glare costs well over $1 million. It takes over 24 hours to vaporize 8 different coatings onto your lenses. Your lenses have to be cleaned in a sterile room in an acid bath, washed and dried in between coatings. So because of the time and the expense, they put the industry's hardest scratch coating on there to protect your time and investment. So water has begun spraying, which tells me that it's in the last 20 seconds of the cycle, and it reminds me that I need to take a bath. Out comes a little bevel. The bevel wheel, little tiny fine grit thing, and it's just smoothing out the back surface of the lens. I don't do it on the front of the lens because no portion of the lens protrudes from the frame, and you should have none of the lens protruding from the back of the frame. But the reason I will explain to you while I put that on there in just a moment, after I have to concentrate and open this door with my mind. You like that? I can do other things with my mind. I can melt ice with my mind. I just have to stare at it for a couple hours and then I can melt it. Now again, if you guys can think of anything funny, or write it down on a $100 bill and mail it to me, and I will read your joke on the air and give you credit. You don't even have to include your name. I'll recognize your handwriting. So look at that. I love it when that optical sawdust, also known as Schwarf. May the Schwarf be with you. But it's not. I'm peeling it off, dropping it in the trash can. My early videos, I would throw it on the floor. My wife frowns upon that. She frowns upon a lot of things. That's probably why she's my wife, because I need someone to do that, because I am just too silly. Now, I know I joke around a lot. I am a professional. If you know what you're doing, you can joke around. If you don't know what you're doing, you have to act very professional to fool people. But I love what I do. I have a lot of passion for what I do, helping restore sight to people. And now I get to design my own Christian eyewear frames, and I'll get to those in a moment. But the reason why I put the safety bevel on the back of the lens is that I know this is going to go in first time around because I've been doing so many of these, but if this wasn't, I start by pushing the lens in at the outside corner, using my thumbs pressed down at the nose, and it snaps in. But if this were too large and need to be taken down some, I want it to be nice and smooth as the back of the lens comes in contact with the frame as I push it in there. I don't want the lens to scratch or mar the finish of the frame. I'm going to protect your frame and lenses the same way that you get everlasting life protection from the Son of God by means of going to heaven, by accepting Him as your personal Savior. So, now I don't offer that level of protection, but I'm working on it. The day's still young. So now that that lens is in there, let's go ahead and flip this over to L. Place the magnet into the Chuck, the Charles, the Chucky baby, the Chuckarama, the Chuck-roo-roo-roo. Or today I'll call it the David. Yes, I did have coffee today. Why are you asking? So I'm hit the green start button. The door closes, the clamp shuts. The lens is going to be traced by the two white styluses again, making sure that it's large enough to fit into the left side of the frame. And you can see as it's tracing the shape of the left side. And then measuring the thickness to know where to place the bevel so you have the least amount of edge thickness showing. Of which, David, drum roll please. You have none. You got no edge thickness there. None, David. In fact, even if you wanted big thick lenses, you're not going to get them. No thick lenses for you. So I'm going to start the... Did I mention I was a professional? So here's the deal. I did go to opticianry college. I've been a licensed optician, passed the state board exam, highest recorded score in the history of my state. I know, I was just as shocked as you were when I heard that. I've been a licensed optician for 21 years. But I've personally made over tens of thousands of pair of glasses for people in my community here in North Carolina. But I woke up one day and I realized I'm just a cover band. I'm putting lenses in other people's songs. From Ralph Lauren Polo, Harley Davidson, BMW, Ray-Ban, Oakley, Crizal, more Ray-Bans, Versace. And I realized I wanted to write my own songs. And what song was important to me? Our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, who died on the cross so that we may have everlasting life. I figured that'd be a good tune to start with. Now, I may not know the whole song, but I'm going to hum a few bars until the Lord comes to me and provides me with the next step. And again, these are Christian eyewear, designed in USA by me. Every pair of lenses that get shipped worldwide is cut by a licensed optician, which looks a lot like me. If I were to look in the mirror, I would insist there was some resemblance. So, this is what's known as final inspection. And when I asked earlier, 15 minutes ago, how do you know when you buy glasses online you're getting the right prescription? I'm going to verify the prescription in front of you. The prescription reads -250, -1 1/4 at 35 at blank, 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 blank. I'll explain those. So I'm going to spin the axis wheel back to 35. Read the first curvature of your lens, and I'm getting 250, exactly halfway between 2 and 3 in the red numbers. You are nearsighted. There is a minus sign in front of the 250. With your glasses off, everything is much too large. You can still see your fingerprint. God bless you, David. That ship sailed for me a long time ago. But, so the unit of measurement in the optical world is called a diopter, spelled D-I-O-P-T-E-R. It starts at 0 and goes up in quarter increments from there. A quarter, 0.50, 0.75, 1. You're on the 10th rung of a ladder. You need 2.5 diopters of far-sighted correction to be able to see far away. It's like I said, everything is large here, but as you move away, it starts to get blurry. So once everything is the correct size, you have an additional 1 1/4 diopters, 5 additional steps. You're on the 10th rung of a ladder here. You're going to end up on the 15th rung. So you have one curve on your eye this way, -250, 90 degrees away. You have a steeper curve, 1 1/4 here, which is your astigmatism correction. It's how we line those two curves up to make everything nice and crisp. Uncorrected astigmatism makes 6s and 8s look alike with the letters P and F. So think of it as the fine-tune knob. And we're going to turn that fine-tune knob to 35. We can now read the second curvature of your lens. And we end up at minus 375. One tick mark going away from 4. How did we get there? Remember high school math where you add 2 like signs together? Well, don't worry, I've forgotten that too. Let's use today's terms. You let somebody borrow $2.50, $2.50, and then you let them borrow another $1.25, they would owe you $3.75. That's where at $3.75 in the red. Now, your right eye, you only need 8 steps of farsighted correction and only 1 diopter of astigmatism correction, so we're going to have a total combined power of minus 3. We went from minus 250 to minus 2. Now, what did 50 Cent do when he got hungry? 58. Hello, is this on? Okay. Alright, I won't quit my day job. Alright, so I'm going to run my thumbnail around. It is corny, but guys, anyone out there listening who's unsure of their career, people look at me, they write me emails and just say, after watching my videos, you love what you do. How can I find a job that I love this much? And it's easy. Go out, find a job, particularly if you've already got one. Then learn to love it. If you wait to find a career that you love, you'll never find it. Learn to love what you have. Don't dwell on what you don't have. Dwell on what you do have. And again, I have the side I'm working on closest to me. Tuck the lens in at the outside corner, push down with the thumbs, it snaps right in. Take this block off, pull the sticker away, use my hand-approved drying method because I might need this again, but I'm going to add to the degrees of difficulty. I'm going to stand back, call bank. Oh, look, I called bank. I called it. Stick that on my sticker collection. So, when I went out on my own, became self-employed, the first 11 months, this is how many pairs of glasses I've done. I've moved, I've started designing my own eyewear, and in the last 2 years, this is what I've done. 11 months, 23 months. Next month makes 24. The Lord has guided me and made me successful. The Lord knows the plans that He has for me. I just had to let go and let God. I did a lot of struggling. I did a lot of soul searching. When I let go, God came to me and provided me with a path on what I should do. And, you know, I feel blessed in so many ways I cannot begin to explain. By the way, I have flunked math so many times I can't even count. Hello? Is this on? Okay, so let's do the inspection on this one. Turn the fine-tune knob to 132. Put it in over that black dot. Read the prescription. If all goes well, we're going to get 2. 2! One in between, right in between, halfway between 1 and 3. I want my $2. Anyone who grew up in the 80s remembers that reference? So now you have a full diopter of astigmatism correction. You know, I have a smaller flashlight, I just can't find it. So let's read the second curve. And just so you guys know, I can't tell if you can see what's in there, but I'm getting 3 skinny lines. When I go to look for the astigmatism correction, where am I? I'm going to put my thumb there because I can't see up close because I'm over 40. All right, let's see. You're going to go from 3 skinny lines to 3 thicker lines. And let me look in there. That is correct, and we're at minus 3. So the last couple steps of final inspection is I'm going to measure your pupillary distance, the width of your eyes, and the vertical element. Just like the crosshairs of a scope, I measure vertically and horizontally so that this is going to sit directly in front of your pupil. So your PD is 30.5 for each eye, which is abbreviation for pupillary distance. All this time, I thought it was just PD. No. So turn the card around, place the PD stick in millimeters, not inches, in millimeters against my thumb on your right lens. When we hold it up to the left lens, we're getting 61 millimeters. Now, not to the bottom of, let me darken this so you guys can see that. And again, if you guys missed any of that, let me refer you back to how I install the cap onto the pen. So, Now, not to the bottom of the lens, but to the middle of the plastic at the deepest portion, we're getting 22 millimeters, so that is cut perfectly. 22 millimeters. Now, this is the portion in every video that as I clean your lenses, I mentioned that, David, when you get these in the mail, and of course free shipping anywhere in the US, but when you get these in the mail, there is a small chance that these could fit too loose or too tight. However, there's an 80% chance that one side is going to sit higher than the other, and that's because 80% of people have one ear that is higher than the other, and I'm no different. I'm part of that 80%. But because of that statistic, 99% of all optical shops will do free adjustments if you ask them. So just stop by your doctor's office or one that's close to your house and just tell them if it's too loose or too tight or high on one side. It only takes about 30 seconds to a minute to adjust a pair of glasses perfectly, but I'm going to get these in standard alignment. Also, the last part of the final inspection, also known as a 3-point stance. The 3 points are 1, 2, and the bottom of the frame being 3. I set them on the counter and press down. There is no wobble. When I say wobble, I'm part of that 80%. When I take mine off and press down, they wobble on the counter, but they sit level on me. Again, for those of you keeping score at home, I'm wearing the Philippians 4:13, black and silver. David, we're going to be twinsies. Of course, you're going to be the handsome twin. But hey, you know, it's all right. I'm getting counseling on that. I'm starting to feel better. Flip that over, press down. Press down. There is no wobble. Close each temple to make sure they overlap perfectly, and they do. The neither temple is askew like that. I make sure that the hinges are uniform. If one was tighter, I would loosen it. If one was looser, I would tighten it. Now, I send out a selfie request in every package. David, I would love to have 2 selfies, one with you indoors with these clear, and then one with you outside in that beautiful Miami sun that will show the lenses turning dark. I also send out cleaning instructions with my own Christian eyewear cleaning cloth. I send out cleaning instructions not only for your frame and your lenses, but for the premium microfiber cloth that I provide, your Crizal cloth, and instructions on how to care for your case. So it too will last you for years. No other seller does on the internet, I am told. Now, David, I field test every cleaning cloth before I ship. So when you get this in the mail and you see that wrinkle in there, you know that it works. You can't tell me that you can't clean with that cloth, because I know you can. I did it myself. So this is what your lenses look like before they have been activated, meaning that I'm exposing them to a strong burst of ultraviolet light that would cause your lenses to turn dark while you're inside. That's the only way I can demonstrate them. I'm not going to take them outside. So as you can see, it takes about 30 to 45 seconds for photochromic transition lenses to turn dark. It takes a little bit longer when you come back inside, 45 seconds to a minute 15. Now, David and everyone else listening, pay attention. All transition lenses get dark on day 1 and continue to darken every day for the first 2 weeks are exposed to the sun. After that, they will work for years at maximum performance. The only time they won't work is if you're behind the windshield of a car. Your windshield absorbs the sun's harmful ultraviolet rays that would cause the dashboard to crack from sitting in the sun all day, and that's why they don't turn dark in a car. Now, these are going to keep getting darker and darker. Come on, David, we talked about this. Don't you remember? Stay with me, David. Stay with me. I know, like in Zoom meetings, someone's gotten up and gone out of the room, but I'm okay with that. But the other thing is all photochromic transition lenses Series 7 and Signature 7 and Generation 8 are temperature sensitive, meaning they will get darker when it's 85 and below than they will when it's 95 and above. But I remind everyone, when it's 100 degrees outside, you're miserable, they're miserable. Nobody works 100% when it's 100 degrees outside. We all work much better once it cools off. Having said that, there is the Transitions Extra Active Gray that will get darker in hotter weather. It's designed for extra active people who spend extra amounts of time outside. So if you live in a hot state or you're just temperature sensitive and you want the darkest lenses possible, the Extra Active, now these are a little bit more expensive. Now, this frame and lens combination, as I keep talking, you will see these turn back to clear. This frame with any power single vision prescription lenses is $149 complete with the polarized clip-on. The Transitions Gen 8 had been $99, but I had to do a price. I had not done a price increase in 5 years, but the new Gen 8 lenses have gone up in price to $129 The Crizal Avance is $99 for a total of $377 tax-free. The reason why I point out tax-free now is a lot of people on the internet are having to charge tax. I'm in North Carolina. North Carolina considers eyeglasses a medical device, and there's no tax collected on medical devices, and that's how I'm able to remain tax-free. Now, as I mentioned, you have the transitions. You also have the polarized clip-on. As I mentioned, the transitions don't work in a car. Although the transitions extra active will get darker in hotter weather and will get 30 to 50% dark behind a windshield. But because the transitions Gen 8 don't turn dark in a car, think of your clip-on as your sunglass. Keep this in your car. When you get in your car, you put on your seatbelt, put on the clip. When you get out of the car, take off your seatbelt, take off the clip, because then you're going to have the transitions turn dark when you go outside. Now, if you're out fishing or something, you want the polarized clip-on, that's fine. Bring that with you. And while supplies last, you can purchase an extra clip for $25 just in case you have a second car. Like I keep one in my wife's car. So I keep one in my car, one in my wife's car. So if I get in my wife's car for $25, which is the cost of an extra clip, while supplies last, I'll have prescription sunglasses in her car. It's that easy to have polarized sunglasses when you're driving, no matter what car you're in. The magnets are so strong, they click right onto the case because there's metal inside this case. These are strong, rare earth magnets. You can see the magnet here. Now these are embedded down into the frame, so you can't see that there, but it just clips on that easy. So, as I kept talking, you see how these return back to clear? Now, if you have any questions, actually, I'd like to point out, take this time to point out that Jesus loves you. Because he loves you unconditionally, I'm going to conditionally ask you for a like. Like my video, hit the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button, and then click on the bell icon so you'll get notified every time I update a frame and lens combinations as different lenses and colors become available. If you have any questions, you can go to the contact me page of the website. You can email me directly if you like to type by just typing in info@christianeyewear.com. You can follow me on Facebook as Christian Eyewear. Instagram and Twitter is one word, Christian Eyewear. But, the colors of this frame. So there's three principal colors. There's black, tortoise, and purple. Within those three colors, you can get them with gold crosses or with silver crosses. Within the tortoise, you can get it with gold crosses or with silver crosses. Same for the majestic purple, silver, and gold. And of course the purple comes with a brown gradient polarized lens as such. And let me turn that around. The tortoise and the black come with a polarized gray with the back surface anti-glare coating. The most high-end sunglass companies, Ray-Ban, Costa Del Mar, Oakley, Ray-Ban, they put an anti-glare coating on the back of their polarized lenses. I wanted to make sure to do the same thing. Now, if you like this frame but you don't know how it's going to fit, I was very much influenced by the Ray-Ban 2132 New Wayfarer that I wore for years and years and years as I started doing all these videos, and before I woke up and realized I want to do my own frame. So, stealing from one is plagiarism, stealing from many is art. So, I was influenced by this frame. David wore this frame in black, shiny black, for the longest time. When I told him about this project, he said, I'm all in. And now this has known as the shield on the front. Some people don't like that, so I left it off. Now Ray-Ban also has a 3-barrel hinge, meaning that there's 2 barrels here on the temple, one on the frame front, and when they come together the screw goes through there, and that's 3 barrels. The one thing I wanted to do is a 7-barrel hinge, making this as strong as possible. 4 on the temple, 3 on the frame front, and now that's 7. So literally you could sit on them, step on them, and I want these to be as strong as your faith or God's faith in you. There's times we're all on our knees and we question ourselves and our life and why we are being punished and why bad things happen to good people. This is the strength that the Lord will provide to you when you are down on your knees. And I've been there too. It was a couple years ago, and I had the minister tell me that we all want to be on the mountaintop. But we find out who we are, our character, when we're down in the valley. And I hope I don't get choked up telling the story, but I was at church. I had left a very great job, a high-paying job, but I knew there was much more than life than making a lot of money. I just wasn't getting the meaning and the success. So I walked away, not knowing what the future held. I can't even honestly say that I knew the Lord would provide for me. I just knew that I needed to make a move. I'd been at the same job for 10 years and I wanted to do something different. So I go to church, and it wasn't even our main minister. It was a guest minister that time, and he was the one who said that we all want to be on the mountaintop, close to God, but we find out our character when we're down in the valley. And here I was feeling sorry for myself. I was starting to, it was the prayer right before services let out. I knew that people were going to get up and start greeting each other. I had tears welling up. My eyes were red. I was doing my best to hold back the tears like I am now, just thinking about it. Just stupid male pride. I didn't want anyone to see me crying at my weakest moment. But everyone had their heads down praying. And I looked down, and at my feet was a box of tissue. Right there next to my feet. I never noticed it all service until then. I grabbed a tissue, wiped my eyes, looked around as I was walking out, because I sit up front in one of the front pews at church. And as I walked out that day, I looked underneath every pew, and mine was the only one. At my feet was a box of tissue. That God was letting me know that Jesus was there. Trying not to get emotional, but it's when my world was turned upside down. I was questioning myself why I left my job. And it was several months later. I was sitting in church, 2019, Easter services. I'd noticed how everyone had their cross necklaces on, cross bracelets, cross earrings. Men had crosses on their ties. Women had it engraved on their gloves and their hats. And I thought, why has no one ever put a cross on a pair of glasses? And that's when it came to me, and I realized that's why God had me there. I never would have thought of designing my own frames had I still worked for the corporation that I had walked away from. And thence Christian Eyewear was born. It took me a year to get these made, to meet with manufacturers. It was, now we're in the middle of COVID in 2020, so there was no Easter services. But I got my first samples 53 weeks, 1 week after Easter of 2020. I was finally able to put my hands on this. Now I tell people this is not my calling, but this is one step closer to finding my calling. Because this starts a dialogue with people. When people seeing you wear these, they know who they're dealing with, what they believe in. You can use it as an opportunity to others to show your faith. And tell them what the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ has done since you accepted Him into your heart as your Messiah, so that you will have everlasting life. As I remind everyone of John 3:16, for God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son, that whoever believes in Him should not perish but have everlasting life. And of course, this again is model number Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, because I find the strength to get those words out. Part of the reason I did that, I chose this one as all things, because you can do all things indoors and outdoors with this clip. And of course, I tell everyone this is sun protection. S-O-N, the Son of God. You are protected, and you will have everlasting life as you accept Him into your heart as your personal Savior. And I just ask that you share this video with other followers so that people, true believers, can see this. Someone who does like to wear cross jewelry or clothing, or is not afraid to show people. And I'm the only outwardly expressive Christian eyewear company that puts a cross on the outside. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I want everyone to know when I walk into a room what I believe in. And not just that, you know that I can be trusted and believe that I have a higher power. That even in my weakest moments, I'm going to strive. I'm not perfect. I don't walk on water. I was born a sinner. I will die a sinner. And walk in heaven, hopefully embraced by the love of God. And say, it's okay, you did the best you could. I'll take it from here. But I just want you, hopefully whoever puts these on will have the emotional and spiritual journey that I've had since I've embraced Jesus. And I'm going to take a moment, go hug my wife, and just remind everyone that hopefully now you've gotten a chance to see how I bring God's loving feeling back to glasses. Thank you.